So how the fuck did all this just happen? 30K a month, my agency. How did this all happen? It just didn't land in my lap. Okay, in this video, I'm gonna go through the whole story from scratch. From scratch on how everything started, leave nothing out, try and get as much in as possible, as much as I can remember, and just tell you how it all started. So, it all started back in 2021. 2021 it was. Yes, 2021. And it was me sitting at the couch, like here in my home, and then my parents sitting over there. And I was having this conversation with them that I don't want to go to college. I don't want to do this. Like, I want to make money online and I want to become an entrepreneur and I want to, I'm going to make a lot of money and this and that. And they were like, nah, like, how old was I in 2021? I was 18. I was just finished like normal school, I don't know. In UK they call it high school. I don't know, but when you get 18, you finish the high school or whatever, right? Finish that. I was sitting there and I was like, no, I don't want to go to university. I want to start my own online business. I had $0 in my bank account and I was trying to pitch them. Like, I had no experience with business, nothing, and I was trying to pitch my parents, especially my dad, like, I want to start a business and I want to do this and that. And he was like, go to college, okay, go to university, go apply to university. Like, this online business type of stuff isn't reliable and you don't have any experience. Okay, he asked me what kind of business you're going to start. I was like, I don't know, I'm just going to start some business. And I was like, no. He was like, just go to university, and then if you really want to start a business, you can start a business while you're studying, or you can learn from there or whatever. I was like, okay, whatever, just to make you guys happy. Okay, I'm going to go to university. So I was like, okay, but then I'm going to study business. I'm going to study entrepreneurship. And even though in the back of my head, I knew that like studying entrepreneurship isn't worth shit, because that teacher, my professor isn't even an entrepreneur. And, like studying entrepreneurship, like, okay, I'm studying to get like papers, right? To get some kind of certificate or, whatever you call it, like a degree. A degree in entrepreneurship didn't make sense to me, because I was like, what the fuck, a degree in entrepreneurship? How does that make sense? Like, who am I going to show the degree to? Lost my face there. Who am I going to show the degree to? What the hell, bro? Like, when I start a business, who's going to... Fuck this camera, bro. Bought it for $900. I don't even know how to use it. There we go. So who am I going to show the degree to? Like, I'm starting a business, right? So who needs to see my degree? What the fuck, man? And it just never made sense to me. So I was like, okay, whatever, let's just go. So I went the first year, completed the first year, passed all the exams and all of that shit. And I hated it. Second year came around, or it was like summer break, first year summer break. And I was like, okay, I need to learn how to make money. So the first thing I discovered was Andrew Tate's The Real World, right? His program, his $50 program. I joined the program, and I'm not gonna sit here and tell you, oh, it's a scam, bro, it's a scammer. It wasn't like it was not a scam or anything like that. Okay, that's like low intelligence type of shit. Like, bro, it's a scam, and people don't even put in the work. I was 18 at the time. I wasn't even 19. So I joined that. I picked the copywriting thing, right? So I tried copywriting, and I'm not gonna lie, it was very good. The course was very good, and I learned a lot from the course. A lot from about copywriting. I learned a lot. That was one of the first things that I started. Some like a real side hustle that I started. So I learned copywriting. I got good at it, and then I started pitching it to my local gym. I started pitching it to like people here in Norway, because I live in Norway. So I started pitching it around, and 2 weeks went by or something like that, and I was getting no clients, and I was like, oh, nah, fuck this. Let me move on to the next business model. And that is a big mistake. You can't succeed with a business in 2 weeks. But that in my head I was like, I don't have time. I have 2 months before my, before this summer break ends, and then I gotta go back to university. So I was like, no, let me just, you know, uh, let me try and make money as soon as possible. So copywriting isn't working, and then I found, what did I find? I think it was e-commerce. I went to the e-commerce course, tried that, tried to create a store. And I remember I was selling these shapewear. First of all, I was selling like these AirPod cleaners. I actually have them. I actually still have it to this day. Let me find it. It's somewhere here. Because I ordered a sample. Here it is. Here it is. So I ordered this. Right here, right? So this is like a AirPod cleaner. This is like some, like you can use this, and then you can use this, and then you can use this. I still have the sample to this day, and I even use it sometimes. So I tried selling this, and I didn't have money for ads. So I was like trying to create a TikTok account, posted 3 videos, didn't get any response. No one bought from my store. And I was like, oh no, fuck it, bro, it's not working. I posted 3 videos. Like, if I go back now, it would slap the shit out of me. Tell me, like, you posted 3 videos, bro. How the fuck do you expect to get clients just like that with 3 organic videos? You haven't even ran ads, right? So that was one thing. And then 2 weeks later, I decided, okay, I'm gonna do ecom, but I'm gonna change the product. So I changed the product to, there was something called shapewears for women, right? So I was like, okay, women have like, and I was 18 at the time. If I go back, I would be kind of proud of myself for thinking this way. I was like, okay, let me sell a product. Who is easier to sell to, men or women? I was like, women, because they're more impulse, like they're more like emotional, so it's easier to sell to them. I was like, who's insecure, men or women? I was like, okay, women are more insecure than men when it comes to their body. So I found this product, shapewears. It's like, you put it on under your clothes, and then it gives you like a Coca-Cola bottle shape or whatever, it gives you that. And so I tried selling that. I created the store and everything. And when it was time to sell, I posted, I think, 1 video on TikTok, and boom, they banned me because they were like, this is like, body shaming type of shit. And I was like, what the fuck, man? And I got fed up, and I was like, shit, fuck this shit. Let me try something else. So I didn't give up. It was not like yes, it demotivated me. It was one of my first businesses. It didn't work out and all of that. And at the time, I cut off all of my friends. I had basically nothing. I was a full psychopath, maniac, just locked in my room, just working, and just trying to make something work. I wasn't going out. I wasn't doing shit. Okay? So the next business I found was, I had this idea in my head. I was like, there is a lot of, lines outside of barbershops and, car washes and, local businesses. There is lines, and people have to wait in queue and all of that. And people don't want to sit there and wait because it's a waste of time. So let me make an app where people can stand in the line or, stand in the queue digitally. So they can open their app, find the barber or whatever, and then, what do you call it? Like, stand in line or stand in queue digitally, right? And at the time I had $200 in my bank account, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna make this app, and I'm gonna be super rich and all of that. So I didn't know how to make apps. I didn't know what the fuck coding was. I didn't know shit. I didn't know anything. So I was like, okay, let me make this app, and I'm gonna be rich. And I was like very enlightened. I was like, wow, this idea is gonna work. I'm gonna be rich in 2 months and things like that. And then when it came to creating the app, I had a friend, a childhood friend, who was studying, I think, coding or development or some shit like that, some IT stuff. And he lived like 4 or 5 hours away because he was studying in another city. So I called him, and I was like, he was in this because it was summer break, so he was in my town, right? And then I met up with him at like a cafe. The cafe I used to go to, met up with him there. I was like, bro, I have this idea, I can't really pay you money to create this app because I'm broke, but what we can do is when we create this, I start making sales, you can get like, I don't know, 20% of all the sales or whatever. I said something like this, I don't remember. And then he agreed. He was like, okay, cool. So we started creating the app. He started doing like real development. He started creating the front end. We were there for like 2 hours, and then the next time I called him, he ghosted me. And then another time we hopped on a call, and then he shared his screen and he was creating it. And then boom, he just disappeared. And I was like, what the fuck? And I tried, looking around on like no code tools and how to create apps without, coding and drag and drop type of shit. And I was like, okay, fuck it. I don't know how to do this. And then even I realized that marketing costs money as well. So, okay, if I create the app, how the fuck am I going to sell it? What if bugs come up? What if issue comes up? I had $200 in my bank account. I was like, fuck, man. Another failed business again. So I quit that, and now it was time to go back to school. It was time to go back to university, my second year of entrepreneurship. And I was fed up. I really didn't want to go. But anyways, I went. I remember this is where I had my fuck this event. So for those of you who don't know what fuck this event is, it's like a moment where you're like, fuck this. And you're like, I don't care, and then you change. So this was the first day of my university, second year. I went there, and as we were sitting in the classroom, I was sitting in the back of the classroom with another guy, and the professor came in, and it was like, going through what we're gonna do this semester, and what we're gonna focus on, and this and that, and I was sitting there listening, and he started talking about like this semester we're going to learn about like how to apply to jobs, how to write good cover letters and resumes or whatever you call it. And I was sitting and I was looking around. I was like, what the fuck? Why is no one reacting? Why is everyone sitting there and nodding their head? Like, he's talking about the complete opposite. You have applied and put yourself in debt to study entrepreneurship, to learn business. But this motherfucker in front of you is teaching you the complete opposite on how to land good jobs. That's like going to driving school, but then the guy who's standing there teaching you have never driven a car, and he's teaching you how to ride a bicycle or ride a boat, teaching you the complete opposite, or how to take the bus. Do you get what I mean? So that was going on in my head, and I was like, this shit is not possible. I can't do this, because like, what the fuck, bro? Like, I paid to learn about entrepreneurship, but then you're teaching me completely something else, and that just doesn't make sense to me. So that was the day. Oh, then you have to deal with this again. Turn around. There we go. So I dropped out that day. I didn't drop out like officially. I didn't give like the statement or hand in, the dropping out type of shit or whatever you do. I just didn't go anymore. I was like, I'm never going back there. So I went home. I didn't tell anything to my parents. I just didn't talk. I knew I was gonna make it with online business. So I was like, okay. What did I do? Yeah. So instead of going to school, right, instead of going to university, I pretended that I was going to university, because if I didn't go in the morning somewhere, they would ask me like, why are you not going? So I pretended that I was going to university, and I really went to a cafe nearby. And in Norway we can apply for scholarships. So I applied for a scholarship, and I think I got like $2,000 or $3,000 or something that I had for myself to buy books and shit like that. And I used that money to try and start different businesses. So the next business I started was something that no one would expect. Okay, it was a nail salon. Look at my face, bro. Do I look like a nail salon owner? No, I don't. So I started a nail salon with another friend of mine. What we basically did was, we didn't know shit about nails, nothing like that. What we did was, we rented a big office, and we knew that there was girls in like Oslo, Norway, who were doing nails, who were like doing nails and lashes and shit like that, and making money from it, but they were doing it from home. And it was kind of uncomfortable for them to get clients at home, and they have family there, and they have a fucking dog, and their mother is there, and I was like, okay, what if we rent a big office, and then we just put like tables and chairs, and then girls who are doing nails and lashes, we hit them up, we're like, hey, We have a location for you guys. You can work here. We'll provide you with the clients. We'll provide you with the tables and chairs and nails, type of shit or whatever you guys need. And we did that. I was the one calling. It was super fucking weird, bro. Like, it was super cold. Like, I was calling up girls, and they were like super scared. Like, what the fuck is happening? How did you get this number? And I just found them on Instagram. I just searched like nails Oslo, and then I found girls doing it from home. And I'll just DM them with my fucking face like this, and they were like, a lot of them were like scared, like, what the fuck is this? Like, what? Maybe he's trying to kidnap me or some shit like that. So we contacted a lot of girls, 20, 30, 40, 50 girls. Out of them, we got 3. Okay, we got 3 of them. So what we did was we rented an office in Oslo for, I think, $800 a month. Yeah, $800 a month. We rented the office, and then we bought some used chairs and things like that. Costs maybe $1,100. And this time it was both of us, and me and my friend, and so we invested half, I think. And then we actually, I created the Instagram account, because now I had a little bit of experience with creating Instagram accounts and doing copywriting and shit like that. So started an Instagram account, and I just told the girls, like, send me photos and videos of previous work you guys have done. And they sent it over. I put it out there on Instagram, started making posts, started like, I boosted the post as well to, a woman in Oslo, and I started getting attraction. I think we got like 1,000 followers or something. And the first month we opened, fully booked out. Fully booked out. All the 3 girls were fully booked out. There was no more open spots the first month because of the marketing and shit I done on Instagram and TikTok. And boom, we were fully booked out. So I think the first month we made a little bit of money. What the agreement was that we are going to take 40% of each girl. We provide you with the place, we provide you with clients, we provide you with everything you need, but the work you guys do, 40% of that we take as a payment. So we did that, and it worked for the first 2 months, and then, long story short, it was just too much headache to work with those girls. It was too much headache. The place the landlord we were renting the place from, he kept increasing the price because it was winter time, and he was like, you guys are using a lot more electricity because you guys want to keep it warm and shit. And then it was like, fuck it, right? But at the same time, I knew it wasn't gonna last. I just knew it, or I just wanted to make another income as well. So I was like, okay, let's take the money we're getting from there and put it into an agency, right? So I remember buying a course for, there's a guy, I'm not going to name him, but I remember buying his course, and it was actually good, But bought his course, learned how to set up my marketing agency, and I started selling, what was it? I started selling social media services, posting and management and shit like that. Didn't work out. And then I remember watching an Iman Ghazi video back in December, and he was like, you guys can go out there and sell short form content and clip up people's videos. And I was like, yeah, this is exactly what I need. I just knew it was gonna work. Started that, hired a couple of people from Pakistan, like clippers who would edit YouTubers' long form videos into short form. Took that, and start offering that to YouTubers. So I had a guy from Pakistan who created me this like lead list of YouTubers, and then I put all of those emails of the YouTubers into something called Lemlist. Lemlist was like a program where you can automate emails. Put that in there, and I sent the email to all of them, like I think 50 emails a day. I was like, hey, I like your YouTube content. I really like the way you did that and this in your video. I had a first line writer write all those first lines. He used to go and watch the videos of the YouTubers and then send it back to me like a first line. So it could go like, I love the way you showed that, I don't know, what new gadget you bought in your video. And that was the first line. And then it was like, speaking of that, there's something called short form content. People are losing their attention spans, and for some reason my camera died, but we're back again. So yeah, long story short, we sent emails and started getting our first client. I still remember it, December 2021, 31st of December. at the day of the no, it was 23rd of what day is Christmas? I don't even know what the fuck. It was Christmas evening. I remember going to the gym. I was in the gym, and there was nobody there. And I remember on the way back home, I got this like purple notification on my phone. It was like Stripe. You just got paid $2,000, and boom, that was my first client. You know, and from there it was easier and easier and easier and easier and easier. You know, we started sending samples and started getting better and better and better, and started making 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, up to 10K. You know, and that lasted for a year. And in the meantime, AI was very, very new. This was back in summertime 2022. So this was in June, July. I was making okay money for my age. I was 19 at the time, and or 20 at the time. I was about to turn 20 or 21, I don't remember. But making good money, you know, and I was like, okay, we need to invest this money into something big. AI just came out. You know, it was just ChatGPT, and ChatGPT wasn't even. It was not good. It was not good at all. Like, it wasn't. Now ChatGPT and all of this shit is very, very complicated and all of that, but at the time it wasn't. So we were like, okay, let's take this money and let's make like a AI, you know, an AI program that people can go on for business owners, and they can like write copy and they can write emails, and you know, so on the back end is going to be ChatGPT, and they're just going to feed it a prompt, and we call it Brain Biz AI. You can go on Instagram. I think the account is still live. Brain Biz AI. Like brain and then biz, BIZ, and then dot AI. That was something that we were very, very excited for. So we're like, okay, we're gonna have to pay a developer and a designer. And this time we knew a little bit more. We also had a little bit more money, you know, and it was still me and my business partner at the time. So we found a developer from Pakistan, and we were like, okay, we're gonna pay you, I think, $1,000 or $1,500 for the whole project. It is ridiculous, and you're gonna see what happened. Okay, so also we had a designer. Designer did good. He created design on Figma front end. He created the whole front end, and then the developer, he was a fucking pain in the ass. Pain in the ass, bro. I had to nudge him all the time. I had to like correct him all the time. Blah 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 blah. That gave me a lot of headache. I was working like 16 hours a day and shit like that. I was making money and, you know, investing the money back in the developer and, you know, buying programs and shit like that, domains and all of that shit. Boom, it worked. He created the app, but the app was very shit. I think I got one customer. I didn't even start the marketing yet. And then at the time, my business partner, he was like my business partner at the time, he left. I don't know what happened. He, personal issue, you know, he just didn't want to do it anymore. And I was alone, left with it. And I also stopped. I started focusing more on the app, the AI, you know, the Brain Biz AI business. So I started losing a lot of customers from my agency, the first agency that I had. So I was running out of money. I had people to pay, and I also had this app that was kind of finished, you know, not finished, not fully developed. And now all I had to do was market it, but I didn't have money to market it because I had to survive and also pay the developer and also pay this and pay that. And, you know, I also had, you know, bills for my other agency, and it was just a headache. And so I decided, you know, fuck it, let's shut this down. I can't afford it right now. And that's just how it is. At least I learned from this. At least I got lessons from this and things like that. And that was it. So finished that, you know, left that, and then got back to my agency again. And this time I scaled it. And this time, like, I started developing myself as well. I started hitting the gym harder, started losing weight because I was kind of fat. Not fat, but I wasn't fit. Started hitting the gym harder, and I locked the fuck in again, you know, and, you know, locked the fuck in, and, you know, started hitting the gym harder, eating healthier, and started doing cardio and focusing more on my business, and started, you know, scaling the agency that I already had. And then I started landing a couple of big clients, scaled the agency up to $15,000 a month, and etc. and etc. And this is now back a year ago. Now we're in 2023, 24. We're in 24, okay? And then I made some good money, right? In December 2024, no, it's February 2024, in the end of it, and I was making good money. I was locked in. I was, you know, I was focused, and I was only how old? I was 23 at the time. I'm still 20. I know, 20. How the fuck am I 23? I'm 23 next week. I was 20, 21 at the time. And I'm 22 now. I'm 23 next week. But yeah, that was what happened. And then here's what happened. Now is the twist in the story. Making good money and all of that. I became, not cocky, but I became comfortable. I started breathing. I was like, okay, now I can breathe. I'm making good money and this and that. Start breathing, and what happened was I traveled to Pakistan, and was living there for 3 months or 2 months, and I was like, let me live here. I have money now, and this money is gonna be a lot of money in Pakistan, and I can have fun. I can live luxury. So I started living luxury, eating steaks every single day, and skipping work sometimes, and this and that. And I also started my YouTube channel at the time, teaching away. Like, I was just talking about mindset. I wasn't really selling anything. I was just talking about mindset and you know how my life have developed, and just documenting my own story. So, but at the time I started losing momentum because I started getting distracted. I started buying new MacBook and things like this, and I just started buying shit. Upgrading the office. I switched to here. This is a new office. Before this I had a like small ass office. But yeah, that happened. Lost momentum. Came back home to Norway again 3 months later. I knew I was going broke. I was losing my clients again. And boom, in May or something, I got a big ass, tax bill. I had to pay taxes. I didn't know I had to pay taxes. This was like first time doing business, right? So I had to pay taxes, and I got a big ass bill of tax that I need to pay. Didn't have the money to pay it, and basically paid it in like, split payments, and I had to talk a lot with there's a lot of going back and forward. Paid it, and now I didn't have no agency anymore. I didn't have an app, the AI app anymore, and I was like, what the fuck should I do now? What can I do now? And I had no income at the time. So this was back in August, September. This was back in September. Now in 2024. So now is, what month is it now? It's almost August. So this was 1 year ago. Broke, no money. I think I had like maybe $3,000 in savings, and that was it. And I was like, fuck, man, I need to make something happen. And then I started hitting the gym harder as well, and I started losing a lot of fat. And I was like, hey, I do have a transformation with my body. I lost a lot of fat. I put on muscle. I started eating healthier. I got disciplined. This is something that I can sell. So I started fat loss coaching on Instagram. I had like 1,000 followers, grew to maybe 1,800 followers, mindset and fat loss coaching. So that is what I started doing. Got a couple of clients, gave it my all. Got a lot of good results. There is an old Instagram that I have. There's a lot of results on there that people I help, mindset, body, losing weight, putting on muscle and things like that with diet. I called it the identity shift program. It was good. Didn't really work out in the end, and from September all the way to like January, February, now this year, 2025, I was almost broke every month. Every month. It was like 7 months I was broke. Okay, making a little bit of money, maybe $500, $1,000 each month. It was hard. It was a hard time. My family was pressuring me to, just drop the business type of stuff, come and work in the family business, because my family has a car dealership. They wanted me to work there, and I was applying to jobs, and I was working from 9 to 5s, and I was getting rejected from everywhere, running out of money every month, no income, and boom, that was it. And then in March, in the time of Ramadan, I was like, something must change. Something must change. I need to make money. And I was getting very, very desperate. And this is a part of the story that I'm very uncomfortable telling, and I haven't really told a lot of people. But fuck it, I'm gonna tell. I had to cut out the video again, but now we're back again, and the uncomfortable part about this whole story is, and this is how I got into AI as well. Okay, so this was in Ramadan. I was desperate as fuck on making money. I literally was running out. And I also applied for like social welfare, government welfare, to help me out, like I told him I don't have fucking money. I'm running out of money. I'm trying to search for all these jobs. I'm not landing any jobs. Like, help me, you know? And yeah, didn't get no help. Got rejected. And this was in Ramadan. Okay, in Ramadan, I was, I came across AI, and I was scrolling on Instagram one day, and I found out like AI girls. Okay, AI girls. You can create an AI girl, an AI influencer, and you can build an audience, and then you can sell. You can sell like OnlyFans, basically, yeah, OnlyFans pictures, but I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. I can't sell fucking nudes, bro. That's weird. That's haram, and it's also Ramadan and all of this. I was like, no, I can't do that. So instead, I was like, okay, I can create an audience. I can create an AI girl. I can create an audience, and then I can sell chatting services. I can chat with people. Not anything dirty, not anything like that. Just a virtual girlfriend. So I was like, okay, let me start that, and started. 2 weeks went by. I built a little following, and I started getting DMs, and I had this guy who was ready to pay me, I think $50 or something like that. And I was about to get the first payment. He was like, okay, send over your WhatsApp. No, sorry, send over your PayPal. And I remember this was like some day in Ramadan, and the fast was about to open. It was almost like time to eat. It was almost iftar, and I was like, okay, let me just eat first, and then I'll send it to him. And then as I was eating, I was just sitting there on the table eating all alone, and I was in my head, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? What is wrong with me? What the fuck am I doing? I felt soulless. I felt like I had no soul left. I was like, it's Ramadan. I'm Muslim. My mother didn't raise me up to do this type of shit. And I was like, this is wrong. This is wrong. And I was sitting there. I was like, I'm about to get the payment. I was like, at one side, I was like, I'm about to get a payment. I haven't made money. It was $500, not $50. I wouldn't do it for $50. It was $500. I was like, I'm about to get this payment right here of $500. It would save me. But also at the same time, I'm going against God. I'm going against my own morals and values, and this is completely wrong and all of that shit. And I was sitting there. I was like eating and just eating and thinking, should I do this? Should I not do it? Should I do it? Should I not do it? And then I remember I was so tired in my head. I was like, let me just lay back. And I put on this like surah, right? Surah, for all of you who's not Muslim, this like, verses of Quran. And I put it on and I laid my head back. And then I just felt calibrated back to my normal like values and normal character, which is against all of this. I'm not that kind of person, bro. I would never backstab anyone. I would never lie to anyone. I would never do shit like that. I couldn't sleep at night if I did something like that. Okay? And then when I heard that surah, I got calibrated back to myself, and I was like, fuck this shit. I picked up the phone, deleted every social media I had of the AI girl that I created, deleted everything, removed everything, and in my mind I kept repeating this to myself. I was like, God has something better for me. If I make this sacrifice, God is gonna give me something better. I kept saying it over and over and over and over again in my head. Okay? I deleted it. I remember going to the gym, trained. On the way home from the gym, I went to the mosque, and there was no one there. I was sitting there, and I was literally sitting there, and I was, in sujood, and I was like asking for forgiveness. I was like, please God, forgive me. I don't know what got into my head. Please forgive me. We all do sins. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. And I remember tears running down my face as well. I felt so disgusted with myself. I was like, how the fuck can I do this to myself? Imagine if I had a family and I made money like this and I had to feed them. How the fuck can I put this type of money in my kid's mouth or in my wife's mouth? I'm not married. I don't have kids right now. But if I had, I just started, bro. There was running tears down my face, and I was like, all messed up and shit. I was like, no, I don't know how I did this. I sat there for maybe an hour or two, just ask for forgiveness, talk to God. And I was like, please give me another opportunity. Give me something else. I don't want to do this. I never wanted to do this. I was very desperate. It's my fault. I would never do this again. Because I know you have something better planned for me. Went home, 2, 3 days went by, feeling like shit, looking online for ways to make money. And then suddenly I was like, okay, AI is something that I can work with, you know. And I was like, okay, AI is something that I can work with. And what can I do? I started chat GPTing around, and I was like looking around for all kind of solutions and this and that and this and that. And then I came across AI voice agents. And it was like outbound callers. It's not AI receptions, but like AI outbound callers. So an AI that would call your leads. I came across that, YouTubing and chat GPTing and all of that. So I tried building it at first. There was no one out there. This was back in March, February. There was no AI voice reception. There was like N8N and shit like that. There were no AI voice, receptionist courses out there or videos on that. Almost nothing. So I had to just try myself, try until I got it right. And I remember it was a fucking headache, bro. It was a headache. I was trying, going back and forward with connecting this to connecting this. All my Instagram. It's called BTS. It's a highlight on my Instagram called BTS behind the scenes. And it's all there. I was trying to connect this shit to that shit, whole go high level to Saint Flow and this and that, this and that, this and that. I was about to fucking explode. But then I was like, okay, what if I sell, instead of outbound callers, I sell inbound callers. So when a company, when a lead calls a company, an AI receptionist pick up. I was like, what if I do that instead? Because these companies are missing a lot of calls. And then I went online, I asked ChatGPT, how many calls, is there any studies? And I started, looking around in studies, and I was like, okay, this study shows that 62% of all calls in local businesses are missed in the US and this and that and this. Okay, 80% of business owner wants to get their hands on AI. I just started coming across a lot of things, and I started connecting it together, and I was like, okay, there's demand for AI. There is AI receptionists that people are not selling. People are not selling AI receptionists. It's demand for it. It can solve a big issue, which is a business will never miss a lead again, which will automatically and directly make them more money. And then I suddenly got distracted. N8N came along. I tried N8N. It's created a fucking, it was like a automating your emails type of shit. And I was like, I created it, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, this doesn't really make money. And I went back to AI receptionist again. I was like, this is it. This is exactly it. I know the selling point. The selling point is you guys are missing calls and this and that and this and that. You guys are missing calls. This will never make you miss a call again. It will pick up instantly and this and that. I just came across a lot of things. I remember hopping on my first call. I booked a call. I ran Facebook ads, with no personal brand, nothing like that. Ran Facebook ads. Booked my first call with a beauty salon, a med spa in London. Hopped on a call. I was nervous as fuck, bro. I was sweating, and I was trying to follow the script that I created using ChatGPT, and ended up not closing the client. Of course, it was complete shit, And I was like, okay, good. I fucked up. Now I can learn from this. I will do this better next time. Tried next time again, failed. Tried next time. I think I have 5, 6, 7 calls booked. I was getting a lot of no shows. But I was hopped on 5 or 6 or 7 calls. None of them closed. And then I learned, the reason I'm not closing any of these calls is because I'm pitching the complete wrong thing. I'm not pitching how much money can make them. I'm pitching the features of this shit. I'm pitching, how it can, how it can speak this language and how it can speak that language, how it can connect to your CRM and this and that. I'm not talking about the real ROI that they're going to get. So I made a switch like this. I switched all the copy and all of it, and I started focusing. My selling point was more of I need to, or this can make you money. This can make you this much money. This helps you never miss a lead again. You're missing leads. This can help you make 2 to 3x your revenue. Once I started focusing on that, both on my copy, in my sales pitch, in my calls, in my closes, in my sales presentation, boom, I started getting clients. And this was back in May, May to June 30K. 30K I made from $0, boom, suddenly to 30K. This was 3 months ago, 4 months ago. And then I think I did 20K and then 30K and 20K. Like, started making money. So it all started back in 2020. And yeah, also after that, I made my Instagram, started teaching it away as well. And also as I'm teaching it away, I'm also getting leads from my Instagram. I don't have to run ads anymore. I have 27,000 followers on Instagram. Grew from 1,800 to 27,000 followers on Instagram in 2 months or 3 months. And now I get all of my leads from referrals or from my Instagram. I don't have any Facebook ads that I'm running anymore, and yeah, that's how we got here. It was a long ass journey. There was a lot of parts that I have skipped as well because the video would be hours and hours long. But the main thing here is it didn't take me 3 months. It took me since I was 19 years old, and now I'm 23 next week. It's taken me a lot of years. A lot of times where I had no money, a lot of times where I've been broke, a lot of times where I doubted myself. I swear I've gone crazy, bro. In this process, I have gone crazy. I used to stare at the fucking wall and just talk to the wall. I couldn't sleep at night. I was sitting at car parks, just writing on my phone, just telling myself, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. There is so much that I've gotten into this. So fucking much that I've gotten into this. It's not just that I tried this business model, failed. It was all the emotions, all the doubt that I had for myself, all the hate that I had for myself, all the sacrifices I made, all the mental fuck up that I had. Like, I'm crazy. Like, I know I'm crazy. I am a maniac mentally now. I just don't give a fuck anymore about failing, what other people think about me. Like, I have grown, money, yes, I made, but inside of here, the transformation I have learned so fucking much. I've been through so much just to get here. I swear, so fucking much, bro. Like, there's been nights that I've fucking cried, and there's been nights that I haven't been able to sleep, and I've been, rude to people because it's so much. It's just so fucking much that I've gotten into this. So for all of you thinking like, yeah, you just started an AI agency and now it just makes 30K a month. It's not how it works. It took me a lot of years, a lot of failed businesses, a lot of attempts, a lot of doubt. And even my own family told me like, just stop. I heard this every single day. Every single day I didn't even want to look my father and mother in the eyes because I felt like a fucking failure for 4 years. Dropped out of college, told them I'm going to be a millionaire, and 4 years later, 3 years later, I'm still a fucking bum. I'm not making any money. I'm just delusional telling them. Searched for 9 to 5s and I got like responses of like, no, we don't need you, this and that. And so much up and down. Made money, lost money, made money, lost money, lost momentum, got fat, shredded down again, lost friends, made new friends, mentally, bro, so much I've gotten into this. So when I see people who's like, yeah, I'm just trying to start a business and start my agency and then just make 10K a month in 3 months. What the hell happened? When I see people do that shit, it's kind of like I feel disrespected. Because I need to go through all of this, all of the shit that I've been through. And you think you can just start an AI agency or you can start something and then just be a millionaire in 3 months? Fuck no. There's a lot of things that you have to go through, and no online guru will tell you this. And that's how I got here. But we're here now. I learned a lot, bro. So much. There is so much that I have learned. I wish I could spill it all out. There's so much knowledge and development in my brain that I've gotten. It's just crazy, and I'm very, very thankful. I'm very thankful. And in the end, before I end this video, it was all because of God. It was all because of God. It wasn't just me. I prayed for this. I worked for this, and God is the one who gave me this. So this is exactly how I started from dropping out of college at 19 years old to owning an AI agency, doing 30K a month, 20 to 30K a month at 22 years old. And that's it.